welcome to another Design Cuts live session. And we are here with the wonderful Kris Lauren today from Pretty Little Lines. Hey Kris, how are you doing?
Hello, good to be here. I'm great, thank you.
Awesome.
How are you doing?
Yeah, really good, really good. What will you be showing us today?
Today I'm going to be doing a little demo on how to just sketch flowers, sort of more of a beginner's tutorial, and then I'll be introducing my botanical brush box and show how really simple it is to draw flowers.
That's awesome. And as anyone who knows Kris's work knows, she's just absolutely awesome at drawing flowers. She's released a number of flower products, including the amazing Ultimate Flower and Leaf branding plaque, amongst others. Okay, Kris, over to you.
All right, thank you. Okay, so I have my canvas at 4,000 by 4,000 pixels, 300 dpi, just in case you're wondering. And I'm going to go and grab my reference photos to start. So there's two ways you can actually bring up reference photos. You can go into your wrench here and go to Canvas and go and turn on your reference. And there's a little window here, which is really handy. And you can just click on images and go into your images. Or you can do this. You can slide slowly up from the bottom of your canvas for that little tab. Do you see at the bottom? And then you bring this up. And then you can just bring your photos or your the website or wherever you have you're looking for your photo and have it at the side there as well. So that's kind of, I always like to do that. And then you can move this and have it bigger or smaller. Sometimes I like this a little bit better than the reference photo or that window because it sometimes gets in my way. But I like that a little bit easier. So this is a great example. This is a wild rose, I believe. You know me, Matt, I'm never the best with naming my flowers. Like,
do you know what
I can draw them, I can't always name them.
Eddie Hansen on a session recently doing something, not similar, but also doing some flower. Again, wonderful at drawing flowers, but not so good at naming flowers. So I was hitting Google to try and make it look like we had a little bit more knowledge.
I know, I'm not a gardener. So it's all right. Okay, so I do believe, actually, I'm pretty sure this is a wild rose. At least there's that.
I'm gonna find out.
Right? A wild garden rose. But I kind of like things that have a little detail in the center.
It is a wild. It does look very much. I think it's a wild rose
for beginners, especially because there are. Yeah. Awesome. So this is a little bit simpler for beginners because there's fewer petals. When you get into like multi-petal things like peonies and, really complicated roses, then it gets a little trickier. But anyways, I'm going to start on my first layer. I'm just going to use my 6B pencil and have it at 100% opacity. I do believe I'm on my 6B. Yes. Okay. I'm going to bring this down a little bit, maybe a little bit less, maybe about 20%. So the first thing I usually do when I look at flowers is just look at the basic shape to really start with. And it's the overall flower is basically a circle, oval sort of shape right now. So I just do that like really messily, as you can see. Everything I do is super messy and then I go in and just fix it. So I'm not like amazing and can just draw it perfectly right from the get-go. So I hope that makes everybody feel better.
It looks like you're almost beginning to get some of the perspective there, though, right from the get-go.
Am
I? That makes sense.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
It looks like it.
Oh, that's nice. So then I'm just going to figure out basically the center point and just sort of this area here. And then I'm going to count my petals. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and make that kind of like a wheel and just sort of start to get the direction. Sort of starting that out. This kind of scoop. This goes to the back and up about there. So again, you can see this looks like a 3-year-old drawing.
This is like my flowers, actually.
Right? I know.
I'm going to come on and do a session on flowers.
You're going to be fine. Yeah, that's great.
But this is as good as mine gets. It doesn't. Yeah, that's like okay. We're all done.
Yeah, we're finished. And then I'm just going to start to look and try to see the shapes of the leaves. So I'm going to break that down and just sort of do a sort of triangular shape. This is very strange drawing live, guys. I'm not going to lie. It's a little funny. Not used to it. So just basically like that. And then actually this, you know what, I'm not even paying attention. This leaf actually goes up quite more like this, way more on that angle. So that's fine. And then I'm going to look at a lot of negative space and stuff. So I'm going to notice little peaks in between the petals. So I'm just going to indicate that there. And that helps me sort of map out where things are. And this kind of goes for anything you're drawing from reference, just learning how to look at things and just make observations. So that's what I'm trying to do. And then this is sort of on this angle. So just trying to get the angles of the lines here, basically. And out. It's always funny talking when you draw. I do tutorials and I do talk and draw all the time, but it's such a funny thing to do because normally I don't talk to myself while I do this.
I think your microphone might be rubbing on your zip as well.
Oh, is it? Oh,
yeah.
shoot. Sorry, here.
Not sure if it's cool.
Maybe that will help.
I'm like, what's that noise?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It would be. It is my zipper.
You're doing a great job, Kris. I remember I've only done like
thanks.
one session where I've shown people how to do something in Photoshop. For the DC audience, it was horrific. I mean, it's so much easier doing it from this way around, or giving a presentation, or like a slide, slideshow like I normally do. But when you actually have to draw at the same time as talking,
oh, it's so funny.
Brain melts.
I've tried to practice, but
it's looking good.
Oh, good. All right, and then I'm not gonna just go in and again just keep looking back and forth, noticing where I've gone wrong. And just, but here's the thing. To be perfectly honest, all I'm really trying to do is get a basic representation of the flower, right? It's not going to be exactly the same. It's not really the point either. It's just the point to get it to be, look like that flower, but not necessarily an exact photo replica.
Yeah, I feel like you're getting a real feeling for the flower even at this stage, though, for its form and for the shapes and the perspective, and and I guess if you're really worried about the detail at this stage, it might stop you from doing that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Just trying to get, because that's why I love drawing organic things, because they're so forgiving too, and you're like, well, it's just my flower. That's how my flower looks. All right. So I think that's probably a little bit higher there, a little bit lower. This comes out here. Just sort of checking where everything sort of lines up. Okay. So that's probably pretty good for this stage.
Lindsay in our community has christened the flower Chloe. So there we go.
Sorry, what?
We've named the flower. Lindsay has named the flower Chloe, which I think is quite nice.
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
I love that name. That's cute. Okay. Right. Now, next I'm going to, I think that's pretty good just for rough, just to get that idea. And then I'm going to go and make it look a little better. So I'm going to just go to my layers and click on the N and knock back the opacity to maybe about, I don't know, 10%, 8%, somewhere in there. I can never get it accurate. And then I'm just going to do another layer over top. And I'm still just using my 6B. And then I'm going to just maybe zoom in. And we'll start with this center bit here and get some little more details going. So I'm going to notice that actually, I wish you could see where I'm pointing. But anyways, there's like kind of a center circle below that little knobby thing on top. So I'm just going to sort of get this going here and then just do these little bits for the center. And then start bringing in these. And of course, I'm going to be a little bit, they're not going to do exactly exactly where it's placed, but that's okay. We're just,
I feel it's my job to go onto Google and look at flower anatomy, the anthers, the little knobbly bits. That's lots of the anthers.
Everybody knows what those are. Come on.
I like to feel useful,
Right. So this is just where, you can decide on how much detail you want to put in. Knowing me, I usually put in a lot. And I'm just being really loose and kind of playing with the pressure of my pen too. And that I think sometimes creates some nice lines and just gives it a little personality and a little, I don't know, just something a little bit more unique. Sort of makes it your own signature or something.
Angelique's asked at this stage, if you draw your outlines in brown, which hex number do you usually use and which brush? I'm not sure you are drawing outlines in brown, are you? Is this?
No, I think I'm just in black. Yeah.
You could.
Well, I can
What
change
brush
it
are you
after.
using?
I'm just using my 6B.
Cool.
I think I might have made a few edits to it, but over the years, but just basic sketching pencils. I really like the dry brush, or the dry ink brush as well. I use that a lot too. I usually don't have specific colors. I just sort of make them up as I go, usually in answer to the color question.
And these brushes are part of the pack?
This brush, no.
Oh, okay.
No. This is just in Procreate.
Cool.
Yeah. No, the brushes are stamp brushes, not for for line work. They're more like guides, really.
Perhaps we'll have to persuade you to make your own brush pack specifically for flower drawing.
I absolutely agree. I should.
I'd love to see that.
I know, one of those things.
It's on my list now. I'm going to email you.
To be perfectly honest, I have been thinking. I know I have been thinking about it, but I've just been trying to figure out how, because there's so many amazing brushes out there. I just wanted to figure out how I could make them unique or improve. Just bring something.
Well, it's interesting because it seems like every time every artist finds that quite intuitive, because you all have your own style, and then you end up with very different brush packs, even though they can have quite similar, similar functions. They seem to really have their own personality.
That's true. I think you just have to convince me. Maybe I'm a little nervous about it. I've been doing so comfortable with what I'm doing. No, I
will ask our community. Would everybody like to see a brush pack from Kris, which is specifically for flower drawing in her style? I know I'd love to see it.
Oh, thanks, Matt. So you can see I'm just getting the basic.
We're getting a big yes
of this. Ah, thanks, guys. Well,
absolutely, says Cheryl. Lindsay says yes. Nita says yes.
Thanks, guys.
Well, I'm already asked for about a few products, haven't I? So maybe we can add this one to the list.
I know, right?
Could we possibly have?
I'll get on it. All right. So I think that's good for the center right now for me to be able to move on. And so again, I'm just looking at a petal at a time and just sort of making some more. Notice, I know this kind of goes up quite a little bit more vertically than maybe I've drawn it, but I'll just do that. And again, I'm just really playing with how I use the brush, just being really light and then a little heavier just to create, all these little nubbly bits and kind of noticing little details like these little folds, and maybe not drawing it exact, but just trying to get that feel somehow.
It's nice. The darker bit's almost like it's where it's turning over in on itself.
Yeah, exactly. So it's really kind of I don't know, sometimes it feels like cheating because it just sort of happens,
nice.
And come in. So there's that. And again, it depends on what look you're going for too. I mean, you can draw flowers way more streamlined and slick if you want to, but this is what I've been kind of doing lately. Nope. I'm going to get this gap here. It's probably better. And I'm going to try to figure out how to... No, it's too much. Just how to bring this in and make this sort of kind of that shape, I guess. There we go. I think that'll work.
You make it look very easy, Kris.
Oh, do I? Oh.
Uh-huh.
Well, like I said, this flower is a one and an easier one, I think. That's why I like doing them. And I think they look really good too, because again, with anything with a really bold center that's interesting, I think really shows up well on packs or in a pack, or obviously with the end products. I think they really stand out. I always, when I'm doing flower packs or, making a bunch of flowers for something, I always think about sort of my star flowers, my supporting flowers, and that sort of thing, and the different angles that you draw them from too. So you always need this angle for sure. Something that's a little bit more top view. I like it when it's slightly to the side as well, because when you're doing arrangements, you really need that as an anchor. It's kind of how I think about it. Hope that makes sense.
It makes sense. I've used the flowers from your flower packs to make arrangements.
Oh, good.
In the past, so it makes perfect sense to me. So if anyone's ever used any of Kris's beautiful packs of pre-drawn flowers to do that with you, I think you'll know exactly what she's talking about. You do need those interesting angles, and you need one in the corner, and then you need supporting ones, and then you need to overlap them. And
exactly,
it's really
the
good fun.
Part, yeah.
And your bouquet creator, which was part of the Ultimate Wedding Pack. Wow. How cool was that? Again, I don't know if anyone's used that product. If you haven't, go and check. I'm going to pop that in the I think that's one of my favorite ever packs that you've put together.
Well, yeah, that was cool. That was
so nice.
It was. I'm complimenting myself. Sorry, that's weird. No,
it's just stunning.
The idea was it really worked. So that was really exciting when I was like, oh, this worked. That's unbelievable.
There it is. I'm going to pop a link in the chat. Everyone, check this out. Later or now, or really, really cool product. It lets you make virtual bouquets to send to people. Even got the little tabs and stuff on it. Really, really cool. And me being the soppy person that I am, made one for my girlfriend at the time, and it looked great.
Aww.
Yeah, it's really cool. She loved it.
Oh, it's so sweet. Oh, how's Tom doing?
Yeah, he's good. He's all good. He's a workaholic, so it's a case of not allowing him to talk to the team or anyone whilst he's away, kind of banning him and telling him to stay clear from the monitor.
Right? Good.
But no, his wedding was lovely, and it was a fantastic day. And yeah, I think he sounds a bit recharged, which is really brilliant.
Oh,
raring to go. He's already arranging meetings before, whilst on holiday. He messaged to say, could he have a pre-meeting to one of our meetings next week? I'm like, if you want.
I can't make him
stop. Go back to your holiday.
That's right. All right. So at this point, okay, I feel good about that outline, I think. So I'm going to just turn off this background layer so we can see. And so that's fine for an outline, but I like to add some more details, of course.
I need to say your wedding pack is awesome, just as an aside.
Oh, thank you.
So cool.
Oh, thanks, sweetie. All right. So I'm going to, this is where I don't really use my reference photo too much, because I'm going to look at actually what's happened here. And I'm just going to see like little places like this in here. So I'm just going to kind of push on my pen and then bring it down really lightly, because that's where a fold looks to me like it might have happened. And that's why that, the reference photo probably isn't really necessary at this point, because it's just where my pen has done these fun little things, so that kind of helps. And then I'm just really lightly with my brush. Again, this is just really playing with your pen just to get it, just some interesting lines. I always feel like I'm Bob Ross a little bit. Happy little mistakes. Like, oh, I did watch that as a kid. It's coming out somehow after all these years.
So for us in the UK, it was one called Tony Hart.
Oh,
he was on like the children's TV programs. Yeah, it was like,
nice.
An artist, and yeah.
Happy little tree, happy little tree. Everything was all that. It's great.
Lindsay says she loves Bob Ross.
Nice. So I'm just going to sort of bring some things to focus in on the center, maybe making that dark by pushing down a little bit more. But again, just finding these little bits to make that look
Pam's
like
saying that her shopping cart is rapidly filling up with your products.
Thank you.
It's dangerous, isn't it? They are beautiful products, though.
I don't like that too. All right. Little dotted lines. And here. Again, this helps with like showing the direction of the petals and sort of indicating some of these veiny sort of things too. Not going to draw all the veins though. Of course you could, but I never really do. But that's about it. Like that's probably pretty good for a line drawing. You know, that's probably as far as I would go with a line drawing normally, and then I would color it in. But we can, how are we doing for time?
We're good. We're only 23 minutes in, so
okay,
you're doing
great.
really well. So if you want to have more detail, or yeah, we're all good.
Do you want me to draw another flower or have a few? Or
absolutely up to you. Would everybody like to see Kris draw another flower? Different type of flower? I'm pretty sure the answer is going to be a yes, though, Kris.
Okay, we have that one or
yes,
that one.
we would. That was design cuts.
Yes, we would. Perfect. Okay, this one I feel might be a little bit similar.
Yes, please. Yes, sure. There we go.
Or why don't we do a rose?
Nice.
And a regular
that's a bit more
rose.
complicated, isn't it?
A regular rose.
You stepped it up.
There we go. So I'll just turn this off. So I'm just going to do another layer. All right. Yeah, what have I got myself into?
Bill asks if you can share your 6B brush settings maybe sometime after live.
Oh, sure.
Cool.
All right. Let's just... So again, I'm going to look. It's a circle with a bit of a...
Oh, we're getting a few. Barbara's saying it's one she struggles with.
I know. Hopefully I don't right now. We'll see. All right. So again, I'm just going to just sort of figure out where the center is. It's a little bit here-ish. And then, yeah, just sort of having a look and see where we're at. So this, I'm not going to worry about this center bit too much first. I'm just going to get these bigger leaves or bigger petals. I always call them leaves. Bigger petals here. I do know that much about flowers, at least. Bigger petals.
Let me check my flower anatomy.
Right.
Petal. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah. All right, here we go. And this guy. Now, oops. Somewhere in there.
I know I've seen other. Oh, sorry. No, I've seen other designers and artists say that sort of breaking it down into these simple shapes first makes it a bit less daunting.
Yeah, it totally does. Oh, absolutely. And honestly, why it's so messy is really because I'm drawing and mostly just looking at the photo while I'm doing it.
Sure.
Like I'm not really paying attention too much, but I'm just trying to look at it and get that feel for that shape and curve. So it's kind of like that, I think. I think that comes down quite a bit more. Yeah, this might be bigger. Yeah, but you can see why just starting straight in the middle and doing all that detail right away would really be hard. Okay, and then so that's about there. Actually, I'm going to make that note, this pointy bit, somewhere in there. And that's going to come around. Now we should have some nice peaceful music, guys.
I could sing if you like.
Please do. Yeah, that'd be great.
Maybe not. I don't want to drive as we watch the viewers plummet. Oh, there's only 2 people left.
Oh, well, it's funny how that happened. Okay, so maybe like that. Yeah,
I should say again, if anybody wants to, whilst Kris is drawing, do ask a question. If you like, pop them in the bottom. This is your chance to ask any top tip bits about drawing flowers, or
or drawing.
We have her available right now. Captive Kris.
Captive me, yes. I'm not going anywhere. Okay, so I'm looking at the bottom of the sort of, I guess, I don't know, I'll call it sort of the cup of the flower. It's where it sort of rounds in, not just where we're seeing the tops of the petals. And I'm just looking at that and trying to figure out, I'm going to go kind of from the outside in, I think. So where this kind of comes around a bit. This scoops and comes in here. Hope that's making sense. All right. So that's around there. Right. Yeah, roses are fun. It's just overlap on overlap. And trying to not get lost while you're trying to find which one goes where. And that tucks in there. I need to make sure.
And you find going from the outside in helps?
I think so. I don't know. You know what? I bet you if I did it tomorrow, I'd do it the opposite way.
Well, it's interesting. I think
Yeah.
Addie Hansen, when she showed her drawing technique as well, she preferred going from the outside in. I think she said
Yeah.
it depends with some flowers, but I think that was the norm for her as well.
Yeah. Well, I think I just want to get the big, the macro and then to micro, I guess. And I think that's probably makes sense in my brain. Sometimes, you don't really know what you're doing until you're saying it. And you're like, oh yeah, I guess I do have a reason for it. I just haven't thought about it too much. All right. Starting to get a little bit confused. And this is this one. This is this one. That's that. I know I haven't done this lip. That's why that's throwing me off. There we go. Yeah, and then in here. Going around. And this, there it is. That goes in there. Yeah, found you. Where all these little things go. Okay. So there's this rough. Just make a few more notes where things go. This has a point here. And yeah. And that, I'm just looking at where these are coming here. So that is not going to be there. It's going to be here. So I might have to make some adjustments to that. But like I said, it's, drawing flowers is really, I find, forgiving too. But it's just this part when I'm looking at them, and how I always draw them is from reference photos. Well, 90% of the time.
I guess you must kind of impart some of your self into it as you go as well, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because it's not going to be wrong, right?
No.
Like if it's the basic shapes and that make, the lines, like I'm saying, the petals need to make sense how they overlap and stuff. But other than that, you can really make it your own too.
I guess it'd look pretty rigid if you tried to draw it completely accurately.
Well, yeah. It is art. It's nice to have a little personality. Okay, I think that's okay. Good enough. Because like I said, it's my flower. I've decided how it looks. That's what I always say to myself. It
looks great.
Okay, so that is the start. And then, of course, like before, lower the opacity.
Would you draw we've had a question for, how would you draw the water droplets?
Oh, good question. You know what? I don't normally with my packs that I have done, but sure, you can. It's that would be more, a shading thing. It probably wouldn't. I don't know how it would look right with just a line drawing, but if you're sort of doing more shadowing and shading and stuff, then you'd bring those in.
Makes sense, you would just more shading,
yeah, you would just bring it in, and it's just a study of looking at it where the shadow is and where the light is, and creating that. So that would probably be easier when you're painting it too. But to be honest, I haven't done a lot of water droplets, but it's a good point. All right. So then now I'm going to go and just be more detailed about it and have a look and see how these curl. Oops, got my eraser. That's not going to help me much. All right. So I'm not going to draw every single little thing here, I don't think. Let's see. This comes around, not like that. Up and down. All right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've just got the botanical brush box open in a side tab here, so I can look at it as well. And there's some really detailed studies in there.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Thanks.
So everyone, do go and check it out and check out
favorites.
some of the flowers. They're really beautiful.
Well, I'll show you in a minute once we do this, then why, if you're just wanting to have some fun and learn, obviously drawing them over and over again, it does help you kind of get used to it.
Yes.
So that's what I hope to have helped with there, just getting some practice in. And sometimes you just want to have fun and just get to it and, get to the painting, or, have something you're like, oh, that was really easy and just fun to do, therapeutic.
For sure. I guess it gives you the option. You can get straight into painting, or you can study them and draw them and learn.
Exactly. So I'm using my sketch as a basic guide, but still I do definitely make adjustments while I'm here if I notice something off. And that's okay too. I think I'm going to do that. Yeah, it gets a little easier as you go out. A little bit more complicated in here. All right. It is a bit of a concentration effort.
It's looking great again, Kris.
Oh, thanks. All right. As long as it's making sense and you can tell it's what it's supposed to be. I'm just going to bring those lines in there.
It's just very interesting to see your style and how you do it, especially when you see you've seen other artists do it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody do check out, if you're interested in this kind of thing, check out Ali Hansen's session as well, and then you can compare and contrast, and that's in our Learning Hub. So just pop along there, and that was on, I think, was it last week or the week before last, a part of our illustration event. Really interesting session.
Cool.
And again, really nice to just compare and contrast different artist styles.
Mm-hmm.
And as I say, I do think there's more than enough scope for you to put together your own brush pack, which was accommodating for your style.
It would be. No, I know. I need to do it. I mean, it is silly. I do get asked what I use all the time, and I do alter brushes and stuff, but I will figure out a way to bring something new to it or contribute something unique anyways. Will be the goal. Now we're getting a little bit easier territory.
Nice.
Okay, I'm just going to want to make sure that this, I might have, this is something else you can do. I usually would do this in, maybe not my final sketch, but in my rough sketch. I can just go to my magic wand and go to liquefy and have the push on. And I'm just going to, instead of redrawing something when I have it pretty close, I'm just going to push it over a little bit. Again, normally I would do that beforehand, but that's okay. It'll work here. I just really want to get this angle. We can see this line actually looks like it's coming over here. That sort of feel. I'm not really getting it quite right, but I don't like that. Why is that not working? Because it's too low. That's why. I just saw it. That's the problem. This is too low. This needs to be up here. So right now I'm sort of cheating, not gonna lie. That's but that's all right.
Well, it's the same as erasing it and starting again, isn't it? You've just moved it, so it's not cheating. You're using the tools you have available.
Exactly. All right. That's coming up there too. Okay, I might need to
Barbara says
redraw this
cheating
one.
is good. Yeah, it's
That's
it's
right.
cool technique, isn't it? So I'm going to say I've seen a few artists use the liquify
Yeah.
tool recently. It's super cool. I think Bill pointed out that you got to be a little bit careful because things can go a bit pixelated and wonky.
You do, and that's
Yeah.
why I say I would normally do it with my like final ink drawing because
Yeah.
you can get a little wonky there, and so you might lose the integrity of the brush and that kind of thing. So that you do have to watch out for. And these little things, I like it when they're really squiggly, like little kind of older or rougher edges. That always, I think, adds some real interest to the flower too. So I might even exaggerate that a little bit more and bring in some more lines and stuff. Sometimes when they're a little almost dying at the edges, it sounds horrible, but I kind of like it. Always.
It gives it some realism.
Yeah. I don't know, just switches it up, varies it a little bit. Like in here, you can see that.
Oh, Cynthia says, how do you push? Do you get on either side of the line?
It's just, oh gosh, I don't know how to answer that. Just up and down, sort of. I'm just, while I'm drawing or dragging my pen along, I'm just kind of pushing harder, softer as I go. Does that make sense? Hopefully.
I think so.
Yeah, it's just how my hand sort of does it, I guess. It's pretty subtle. And it depends on your brush too. Hopefully this isn't looking too wonky.
It doesn't matter though, does it? Because
no, it doesn't.
It's
my flower.
It's your flower. I think with the amount of rain we've had recently in the UK, all the flowers in my garden are looking very wonky. Some of them are looking petalless, and the slugs are just having absolute party time on my echinacea.
Oh, nice.
I know, which I put out a couple of weeks ago, and they've just chomped. I'm like,
oh
no.
We have a little garden here on the island, and we have seaweed, so we can just go and get all the seaweed and put it all around there, so they don't come in and get it. So that's our slug protection.
Post me some seaweed.
Yes, right.
It's like, what's this?
It works fairly well. We've only had 1 year where they got in, but
nice.
Okay, so I can already tell you that when I'm looking at this, I've noticed I've actually drawn the base of it. It's a little bit too high, so that, oops. So I would normally go in and fix that, but we can. This is what I mean. I'm just going to move this just so that you can see what I'm saying. This should be lower.
Cool.
So it should be more in there now that I'm looking at it. Sometimes I will even go and draw these 3 times. So like I'll do my rough sketch, do another sketch, and then go over again sometimes, depending on the complexity
and then every time
of
you get a
it.
better feel for the flower, I guess.
And if I'm not happy with it, I'm like, oh, it's not there, I'll just keep going.
Bill says that you're rocking this. Roses are really tough.
Thank you.
Without shading, they can easily look really funky.
Yeah, no, they can. Oh, I know. It's true. All right. So then, I'll just go in and put some more lines and do all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I know you're right, because you can't really see the depth. But yeah, so that's pretty much how you tackle a rose, or at least start. Again, this is what I probably would go and do one more round to get it just right. But do you want me to go and show you the pack? How
I'd love to.
Even easier.
Yeah, show.
Okay, or like a demo on it.
Show yes, please. The capabilities of the pack would be super cool.
Fantastic. Okay,
and as I say, anyone who hasn't checked out all Kris's products, really, they're all beautiful. So I'm gonna. Do you know what?
Okay.
I'm going to chuck that in. Here we go.
So we have 54 flowers, and you can see they're a little bit more on the detailed side, but still leaving you room to go ahead and add some detail. But you can go, and I'm just going to grab flower 1, and I'm going to just size it. I don't know, maybe 70. We'll see how that fits on here.
Maggie Sexy already has all your packs.
Thank you. So super easy. Look, we drew flowers. So we're done.
Oh.
No, you can do this and then go and grab some more additions. So I can go and grab some little buds. I'm going to find them. Here we go. Then you just go on a new layer. So each brush you'll want to put on a new layer just so you can move them around and scale them and that sort of thing. So we can just put this, I don't know, something here. There's already a bit there. We'll do here. I have my snapping on. That's driving me nuts. Hold on. There we go. Do that. And then we're going to add a new layer. Grab this guy. We'll flip them. Do something like that. And do another layer. And then I'm going to go into the leaves. And actually, I'm going to pick this leaf. But there's a bunch of leaves in here too, so you can use them on their own or add them to your flowers. And I'm just going to tap and move him somewhere in there. And then what I would normally do is just merge all these together. And then click on your N, bring down the opacity. And then you can add a new layer. And now it's up to you how you want to draw it. So you can just trace over, oops, with a new pencil. Because that'd be weird. Let's just go to faves, back to 6B. And then on a new layer, because mine just got erased, you just go and trace, and now you can work on your line work.
Nice.
And do all that kind of stuff. And
so
just,
you'd recommend people were fairly free over the top of these and a little bit artistic. Yeah, nice.
Absolutely. That's where it's going to change it up a bit and, you know, make it your own. And you can make this into just a single flower or, you know, make multiple flowers, like a bouquet together. There's lots of, they should all coordinate somewhat. They're all a little bit more on the botanical wildflower type look.
Which are my favorite, actually.
Yeah.
I like it a little bit more, you know, naturalistic.
Yeah, exactly.
And I guess this builds up your muscle memory for when you're actually drawing from reference.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think so. I hope that helps. Yeah, because you understand just how buds work. You know, these little green bits are on here. And then I would go in. So if it were me doing this, I would do, you know, start doing some veining and add some lines in there, you know.
Shireen says it looks awesome and easy, Kris. Nisha says it's looking so good. It is, isn't it?
And you can, you know, add all these little details. Yeah.
Really teaching people about how to break down those shapes as well when you draw a flower.
Yeah. I think so. And then, yeah, and just sort of, oh, there's this bit here. There's this round bit here. And it's quite large, actually. So then, so you kind of stock that away in your mind. And maybe there'll be a little leaf here. And then you can, you know, you don't have to outline these. You can just go in and not even do line work on this. You can just go in and start painting over top too, right? If you wanted a different look. So it depends on your style. But I think it's just, yeah, super simple to use. Obviously, you just put them on layers and arrange them and add them together and then merge them. You don't have to, but I would merge them so you can bring down the opacity and go over top and create your own flower. So super simple.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Would you like to share the product page and scroll through some of the flowers you've created in there?
Let's do that. Okay, so I do stop. Okay, so this color here, I'll tell you how I did this. I started with a peachy pink, which I know Matt will always do pink, but I started with that, and then sort of a greeny color, and that was fine. But then I actually started playing around with some layer. I duplicated the layer and started doing some multiply and color burn and stuff like that, and it changed it, and I really liked it. So sometimes it's just playing around a little bit, but where I start with is, well, often pink. Honestly, the honest answer is just experimenting, playing around, and then you'll see something and you really like it. And
I think I sent through some reference material from a friend of mine who was a wedding florist, didn't I?
That's right. Yes, that got me onto doing a little bit more wildflowers. Can you see my screen? Sorry, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, great, awesome. So yeah, I really appreciated that. That helps me kind of get out of my little comfort zone.
Another awesome product.
Thanks. So here you can see you can add a bunch of them together to create a cute little arrangement. And so that uses 5 brushes together, this example here. So really easy, and then you can color them in how you want. Again, you can see how you can put those together. So those are a little bit more formal. There's a couple slightly more formal ones in there just to break it up a bit. So everything is there are Procreate brushes, Affinity brushes, Photoshop brushes. So they work pretty much everywhere. Well, actually they do, because I did them in PDNG and PDF as well.
Oh, awesome. So you can just use them in everything.
Yeah, and they're also Photoshop and Illustrator layers, like a layered file. So
Nishrit says the beautiful botanicals, super like. Nita says, I love this pack.
Oh, thank you. Me too. I love doing flowers. I mean, it's just, yeah.
I love looking at your flowers. They're awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So again, yeah, just all layer files if that's how you like to work. So just keeping it simple.
Oh, Sonia says, what brushes do you use to color currently? Do you have a favorite pack, or?
I have been enjoying the Ultimate Brush Pack. That's
awesome. Nathan, who was on yesterday, will be super.
Nathan is fantastic.
He is, yeah.
And no, I love that. And oftentimes, because I do a lot of tutorials, I do try to use the free brushes a lot, just that are in Procreate, just when I'm doing demos. So when I'm doing that, I often like the dry ink brush for a lot of inking too. And my 6B, I do a lot. Gouache, I'm a fan of. I oftentimes just, I color in my, like a solid cut, because I'm doing PNG files all the time. I like to have my drawings pretty solid so that they, aren't too see-through. So I do a solid fill normally, and then color over with clipping masks.
Nice. We're getting a lot of people saying that Nathan's packs and Lisa's packs are the go-to. But as I said, I'm gonna be like,
yeah.
It's like, oh, it's Matt yet again on email asking me for a brush pack, which is specific for.
Yeah. No, Lisa's is amazing as well. I use that too.
Sure.
It's very, very nice.
That was awesome. Thanks ever so much, Kris, and thank you, everyone.
We'll talk to you soon. I'm going to talk to you soon.
Well, I'll be on. Yeah, you'll definitely talk to me soon. Brilliant. Excellent. Thanks, Kris. Thanks ever so much. Thanks, everyone. Take care.
Bye, everybody.
Okay, take care. Bye.